what the question is, you know, in the Vietnam War, there was a lot of anti-war sentiment, a lot of organizing in the military. I used to be a member of the Progressive Labor Party. I remember when people went underground and sort of disappeared and started working in the army. And but contrast that to the Korean War. Why nothing in Korea? What's the difference between the two situations? Same kind of war, really.
Yeah.
Time and place.
He wants to know what the difference between Korean War and the Vietnam War was in terms of organizing. You know, I can't say that I'm all that familiar with it. I'm just beginning to study that question in detail. Next month, I am giving a talk on Korea, and I've only been studying Korea since about September. Okay, and I'll have probably more of a definitive answer then. But just off the top of my head, there was a lot of anti-war sentiment in the United States, particularly in 1952, 53, and beyond, beginning actually towards the end of 51. But this was a different kind of period. This was the McCarthy period. There was a lot more repression going on in the United States for any group that stuck its neck out, and particularly groups that would try to relate to the military would probably have put down far more severely and far more quickly than that happened during Vietnam. That's my only answer off the top of my head.
I love this question, if I might.
That next.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm in line.
Yeah.
one of the best examples of resistance is when people in the military become transformed. My ex-wife and I used to hang out at a cafe in LA, Venice Beach, where Ron Kobeck would come almost every day and talk about his negative war experiences. You're familiar with that?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, his Paramount Studios gave him like $200,000 for the rights to the film that he finally made. He didn't care about the money. He just wanted his life to mean something. Because his hero was John Wayne. He went into the military, and when he saw villages totally destroyed and women and children dying, he was transformed. He made himself vulnerable, actually, he says, to get shot. He became the leader of the anti-war, the veterans anti-war group. He was arrested over 30 times. But actually, I have a question. But during the Occupy movement, I cut out an article where the Northern California Police Association purchased 6,000 automatic weapons. Now, last time you were here and today, you mentioned that we all have weapons. Except their weapons are so much more superior than what we can get. And it's always been that way. Guns versus bows and arrows, superior planes, superior tanks, superior this, superior that. That's one of the ways we maintain our dominance. So if we have guns and they have, automatic whatever they have,
Yeah.
what good is our guns going to do us?
Okay. The question is, given the superiority of the state in terms of the types of weapons they have, which are much more potent than the types of weapons that ordinary people have, isn't this a deterrent to some kind of people's armed struggle? Okay. Is that close enough? Okay. First, that kind of negates all the people's armed struggles. Urban guerrilla warfare, the whole colonial warfare against some of the strongest armed forces of the military of the United States, France, and other countries. And these countries won victories, even though they were, or even in China, they won victories even though they were less armed, and they often stole their arms from the military. That being said, that is why I'm not suggesting this as the major focus. I'm suggesting this among several things. Okay, I said each is appropriate depending on the circumstances. Okay? What's most appropriate is getting the military to refuse to fight on behalf of the capitalist state against the working class. Okay, that should be the main focus. The rest, okay, in terms of arms acquisition, is supplementary. It's not major.
About self-defense.
Pardon?
Self-defense.
Yes, self-defense. Yeah. It's not to wage a major guerrilla warfare or anything like that.
So one of the main goals is to somehow acquire their weapons and use them against them, or
Acquire better weapons? Yeah, I'd say, yeah, but acquire better skills in learning how to use weapons or to use any